Just wow. So you just gonna call me out like that?
Yes, absolutely.
Look, I will get food when food is needed.
You just said, I need to eat.
No, I said I'm hungry, but I'm a big guy. Sometimes I don't need to be as hungry as I am, over here losing some weight, trying to get fit for the summer of 2030.
You still need to eat. The last time you ate was 5 hours ago.
Yes, that was not too long. I'll eat soon, like after we're done here.
Okay. After a night of shenanigans.
It was a night and early morning of shenanigans.
Mm. Okay, then.
But yes. Well, shit. Let me just go ahead and say, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Big Letter Little Letter podcast with your host, Sir Hedo.
And me, Jam.
And yes, I'd like to welcome you back to another episode of our lovely little podcast. I'm starting to say this now, so I'm sorry in advance because I hate when other people do it. But like, subscribe, rate, review. Just try to get us out there a little bit more. Help spread the positivity because we do this for free.
I mean, we do. We like it.
Love it.
But, I want to be famous. Secretly rich.
I'm about to say, ew, famous. Fuck fame.
I don't like be famous. I hide behind you when we go to events.
But that's my job to be the person up front. Also, I am a full 6'4", so it's easy to hide behind.
You are. I'm 5'2". Small, petite, hidden.
Don't lie, she thick. Like, wait till you see her. She thick. Thick. Like, yes.
Hush, now stop. You're embarrassing me.
Right. Now, so, we were supposed to have a guest, but, things be happening. We're in, like, 3 different time zones from each other. So, hopefully we'll have a guest for the next one, or she might pop in this one. And if that's the case, hey, welcome. But we'll just go ahead and do that at another time later on. But before we get into the actual episode, what's been going on, Jam?
Man, I had a hell of a month this past month. It's actually why we haven't recorded. I feel like I am 80% of the blame there.
All right, you know what? I'll just be lenient and say like 92.
Wow. Okay. Anyhow, I've been outside, okay? And people invite me to go places. How am I supposed to say no?
Of course not. You're popular.
I'm not popular. Hush now. I just am so cute that people want me around. But where was I? I went to Detroit. And that was such a silly trip because I thought we were going to Detroit to connect with Kingsters there. We were not. We went to Detroit because Meg Thee Stallion was there. But I did get to go to concerts, and I did have a hell of a good time. It was a surprise. It really was. And it was my first, concert in years.
See, when you say you're going to Detroit, I really thought about, the only person I know out there, a gentleman goes by the name of Bobby, also known as the Fire Marshal, because he is pretty much one of the, most known black people when it comes to fire play. Especially, I think he said, he was prominent in the New York scene when it comes to fire play in, dungeons and whatnot. But yeah, he's based out in Detroit. So I thought, maybe they will come across Bobby or something. And all of a sudden, I see, Jam stories oh, let's make a Stallion concert. That's dope. And then I come back, 30 minutes or an hour later, there's someone else I follow on there. It's man, you must be in the same section. In my head, I'm oh, I didn't realize it was literally a group trip to go see the Stallion.
It was. That was funny, though. I didn't know you were serious. I had this in the picture, we were sitting next to each other, actually.
But no, what else you had going on?
No, that was weeks ago. My God, May has been busy. I went to Black Queer Dom Society as one of the submissives who helped serve that weekend. And y'all know by now, my favorite thing to do is to get these tops and doms in shape. So like being there for Dom weekend where they're like learning stuff, they're practicing negotiating and like what consent means and what kink looks for them. Oh my god, it just excites my little heart. And I got to see some siblings do tea service for the first time, which is really cute. And I got a really good scene. Oh my god. I had a scene where I actually felt like I was floating on the clouds, and it's been a minute since I've had like an extended scene like that. It was nice.
See.
And then,
Oh, then. Okay, what else?
no, tell me.
No, go ahead. I was just
I
gonna
was
drop
just gonna
mine.
go into the next weekend. That was only like 2 or 4 weekends that
See,
I.
I've been living a very basic life compared to Jam. Like I've done some things, but apparently not much.
Only no. Only in this 1 month of May because it's usually Hedo outside. But I'm been trying to say yes to things. I got a career to kick off the ground. I have to make more connections with people, see where I vibe. But it's working because at Kinky Kickback, I had all my girls come down and
Oh,
we went to
see,
Maja's
you even
event in Philly.
Kinky Kickback. You even like. I guess that was the next week.
It was the next week, yes. But I saw people that I didn't expect to see, and I don't know why. I think they're regulars. They're like the Naked Trumpeter, Touched by Jax. Like all my friends are there. It was so cute. But every time I see Eli, he's like, "Stop treating me like a stranger. You said you wanted to do things with me. Tell me." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm sorry."
I'm trying to find the lie.
Okay. You know what? What have you been up to?
Nothing. I mean, I've gone to Houston a couple times to shenanigan. I just came back from Dallas from shenanigan a different time. Like mine has been very local in terms of like just meet up with friends, do some kinky stuff. I got to interact with so there's this black couple that I've known for like 5 years now. We were all in this group chat together. That group chat kind of weakened, especially after the pandemic had us all outside. So, but I still kept in touch with them because they're cool as hell. And so every time I go up to like the Dallas area, I just let them know, hey, I'm coming up to the area, and if they're free and they have a babysitter, be like, bet, where are we meeting? Because there's only so much time you have to kink whenever you got other responsibilities.
It's true.
But no, beyond that, I bought a couple things. Shout out to the local sex store that was like, hey, performer discount? Psst, bet. I'll take the discount. I had no problem with that.
Good job. You should give them your card.
Huh?
You should give them your card.
Yeah, I don't have a card, but we'll see. Maybe in the future. I'd make something smaller. But no, beyond that, doing some planning because we do have the panel at BlurredCon. It's
Very excited.
It's officially on the schedule. We are there at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't know which room yet, but we got our Poly Sexy Cool Kink 101. That's going to be happening. Currently working and orchestrating that as far as what it's going to look like. Getting those funds together because gotta fly out there, gotta get the hotel, gotta get my cosplays together, which cosplays set and organized. The overall premise of the how we're gonna present this, because I think they gave us an hour and 20 minutes, so we got
Wow.
I thought we were getting 45, so we're gonna have some time to have fun. So now that I know we got that, oh, let me go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and do some cooking now that I know we have an hour 20.
Oh my goodness.
Like that's an extra 35 minutes.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna go ahead and whip it like a stir fry. But no, beyond that, I'm just like over here planning, figuring certain things out, trying to put two and two together. I finally released something that Jam helped create, which is essentially my menu of services that I provide as a top. Slash dominant, because dominant is more. Why, thank you. A lot of people loved it. And of course, the reason why I say top is because the dominant is more in reference to a relationship with another individual being the sub. So essentially, it is a service menu in which I top on various things.
Yay. I wish we had like an applause soundtrack here. Applause. That works. I feel like we did good though for this past month. I needed to be outside more. You needed to be inside more. It feels good.
It doesn't feel good for my introverted spirit, but I'm maintaining. I'm getting through.
Good job. Proud of you. Stay local for a little bit.
Just another just another month. 4 more weeks of local. Because I mean, there is an event I'm going to in 2 weeks to Houston. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh no, and then after that, going to Dallas for my group ATX Black Poly and Play. We are hosting the event in Dallas, the Red Room Dallas, because it's hard to find a space on in Austin that can like accommodate the way they do. Hopefully, one day we will meet the person that we need to meet in order to be like, oh, you got a dungeon? Can we use your dungeon for events?
Roll call to Austin.
I mean, hey, we don't mind negotiating prices and stuff because we just want to like host events for people here that don't want to drive 2 hours, 3 hours north or 2.5 hours southeast.
Well, if you know a safe space and or dungeon, go ahead and hit us up on Instagram. Send us a DM. Hedo will answer it.
The way to throw me under the bus, because yeah, I will. now that we got the whole kinky weekly out of the way, hopefully we don't have this big of a gap, so we are taking 10 minutes to get through it. We can go ahead and get into the actual episode, which you already see the title name is K is for Kajira.
Some people are probably like, what the hell is that?
I mean, I feel like if you are not deep in the cut, if you are not a part of the if you know crowd, because I'm the nigga that's like, what is that?
He is. I actually bought the term to Hedo, and I was like, can we talk about Kajira? So I guess I will start off by saying that Kajira is a term that originated from Gorian subculture. It's a fiction book. People call it The World of Gore. It was written by John Lange, or his pen name is John Norman. I don't have to pretend how to pronounce it, John Norman. I actually have the first book is Tarnsman of Gore. I asked for it for Christmas maybe 3 years ago. I have not finished it. I don't know. I asked for it because someone told me about this whole culture within the book that involves Kajira, which is a word used to describe a female slave that is specially trained and initiated in the art of serving and obeying her master. And I was like, sounds kinky. I want to read it. Except it's not kinky, guys. It's fantasy fiction. So if you like fantasy fiction and kink, maybe you would really like the book. If you just like kink and you don't read fantasy fiction, then you might have the book in your library for 3 years because it's also long. There's so many words.
So what I would say in regards to all of that, there's a specific reason why we actually went with this title.
Yes.
Because again, as she said, it's like a female slave used to describe pretty much a female slave trained for like service and obeying master. More in the people world, it's essentially a sex slave that essentially is to like, respect and follow everything that their master says, no matter what, because the master is the end all be all. That's kind of the overall like gauge with it. And we're going with this episode title because primarily we could have called this episode S is for Slave.
But no.
And look, slave is a thing. It's MS. That is a part of a dynamic. Master slave. It exists.
It is. Did you know there was a whole conference for it?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Didn't tell me.
Because it's one of those things I didn't care about. Like, there's DomCon that happens in like 2 or 3 different cities. There's like, there's actually a leather convention that was here like a month ago in Dallas. Like, yeah, I try to stay tapped in to see like what's happening where, because I got a travel bug. I might up and pop in.
Oh wow. You should tell me about these things. Anyway, we
All
can fuss
right,
about that later.
back to what I was saying. But no, like the reason why we went with the episode title that we did is because we prefer to operate in the consent model form that is trauma informed consensual kink, TIC for short. I wish it was I wish it wasn't like TIC, but we'll take it.
Grabs onto you. Make sure you remember it.
See, don't mind her. I don't know what's going on. But sure, it wraps on and don't forget it. Sure, until I get some what you call those pesticides for dogs. Now, the reason why we again we operate with the tick model, me and Jam, we are both black kinksters in the United States of America, and one of the things that's prominent in U.S. history is the treatment of a certain section of people because of the color of their skin. So,
Hey, America.
hooray! So when it comes to like talking about the MS dynamic, of course we could be blunt with it, but I have no problem saying the word. We don't have a problem saying the word, but we have to be mindful of those that might have said problem because it still is a current problem. Like, maybe this would be cool if we are finally in a society where a certain color of someone's skin does not dictate certain treatment, but until that day, K is for Kajira.
Yeah, it's not today. I actually, like I said, I bought the term Hedo, and I really wanted to talk about it for a couple of reasons. But one, because I was in a book club with some of my siblings, and we're reading the ENSO, which is another great resource. It's by Orpheus Black. We should put it in the notes.
I put in the notes, and don't forget to speak into the mic.
Okay. We were discussing the ENSO, and the book talks a lot about what submission means to you. And one of our discussions was what kind of submission are you willing to offer? And I think anyone here could use common sense and say that if you're going for slave, you're going pretty deep in there. But as black kinksters, as black, indigenous, people of color kinksters, who are also queer, we don't really want to use the term slave. And Kajira sounds nice. It sounds sensual. And then, especially for us, a lot of us are like femme presenting black people. Kajira just sounds like, oh, welcome to the girls club, But I also want to note, because we did bring up the book, that the author has been criticized for some sexism, and it's very clear. The Gorian culture is large and long, and everyone can do whatever they want to do. But we're choosing to use the term Kajira because it does feel more comfortable than saying slave. And then I also want to note that while Kajira is primarily used to identify as a sex slave, there are people who want to be in this role, but sex is not their primary focus.
Yeah. And I guess that's the other thing when it comes to like a slave master dynamic, or in this case what we're talking about with Kajira. Like in the Gorian, from what I remember, in regards to Gorian subculture, it is more barbaric in regards to how the society was established, in regards to
Absolutely.
how things happen. Like, there is no negotiations. There are no boundaries. There is like, it's just purely I am in charge. Just be hopeful that I am a great master. But again, we're in the people world where things are negotiated. And yes, even though a slave essentially is giving up that 24/7 total power exchange, they still have a level of personhood to where, yeah, once you go too far, they have the right to be like, time out. Pineapples, waffles, quit. Hold up. What's going on here?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's one of the harder things for people to understand when we talk about dynamics like that, is that even though you're taking on this term as a Kajira or a slave. We'll talk about some more terms later, but you can say, all right, I'm not feeling this anymore. Even if you're with somebody for a long time, your needs change all the time. We shed our skin every 7 years. You're a whole new person. So you can definitely take a step back. And sometimes it is hard, like, to come out of space, especially with that person. That's why in previous episodes we talk about having consent conversations, check-in conversations outside of the space in which you play.
Exactly. Because the overall goal when it comes to BDSM, when it comes to kink, when it comes to all this, it's all about experiences. Now, whether it is like we're aiming for good experiences, good does not mean all pleasure. Good can also include the pain that you seek, the degradation that you desire. So we're looking for good. Bad are the traumas that end up harming you in all aspects of your life. We're not here for the bad.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you could be going into it like, yeah, I definitely want to do this, and your body will respond in a different way, and that's also okay. Listen to your body, please.
Hopefully, because in my personal experience, I've come across several people where I've done impact on them. Everyone wants impact done differently. Like, I'll have some people that are purely there to test their limits. I'll have people there that actually want to get that pain, and I'll have people there that just simply wants that sensation, like it's a massage. Like, everything is different. To where I'm not gonna judge one person that's over here like, oh, I just want the soft stuff. Be like, I'm not gonna be like, hey, what's your weak ass? Come on, you know you could, like, no. There is limits that were established versus the pain slut that just wants to get that feeling for whatever reason that they desire.
Yeah, I just had a conversation about that with somebody over Dom Weekend, because they're pretty new to kink, and we have some people that love pain in the group, okay? I've watched some of these people get beat with brooms. But that's not for everybody, nor does it have to be your goal.
All right, now let's go ahead and get into who can use this term.
I mean, everybody. Fans of gory and subculture use the term. You can use a term to describe your dynamic. But you can also use other terms to describe your dynamic. We actually came across some pretty good ones this week.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm going to go ahead and, what was it? You want to share Orpheus Blacks?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So, two of these I might butcher, but they look Latin, so maybe I'll get it right. All right, so the first one I have here.
Left them.
Huh?
I purposely left them for you to say out loud.
So rude. Okay, so we have Dore, which is slave. Bun, which is bottom. Which, come on, buns, bottoms, that's easy. And Sumis, which is sub. Now.
Those also sound nice.
Come here, Sumis. All right, now, as far as doms and masters, we have maestro. Like, come on. We all heard about the musician. We hear about the person that control everything, the maestro. We also have bar, which is top. Don't know where that came from, but hey, it has 2 R's. And there's also dominus, which is lord. But in this case, they put dom, but in Latin, it's lord. Come on.
Okay.
Dominus, dominum, domini. Dominorum, dominis. Come on. Conjugations of the Latin language?
Okay, smart. You must have took Latin after I took Latin, because I cannot remember junior high school.
No, I took Latin in Nigeria because Catholic boarding school, so.
Yeah, that'll do it.
It's filio et patri, was it patri et filio et spiritus sanctus.
What does that mean?
I was just named the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Oh, look at you.
I remember. My brain remembers what it wants to remember.
This we know for a fact.
And my ears hear what it wants to hear.
Absolutely. I'm sorry for yelling. My God. Anyway, Anyway,
back to the whole name thing, but also you can go ahead and create whatever name you want for each other or for yourselves.
you
Um,
can.
I would advise avoid trying to pull off one of those like, oh, I'm gonna give myself this crazy amazing name and that name has nothing to do with you. It's almost as weak as making up your own nickname on the basketball court. So you want to make sure the name, the name you give each other, it is honestly something that actually is a bit more fitting because, again, people are people. And if you give them a ridiculous name, they're going to kind of look at you a little ridiculous.
It's true. And people are going to ask, where'd your name come from? So you might want to feel a little connected to the name that you give yourself.
Because, I mean, if you coming in here like, what's your name? Like, oh, my name's Gertmaster. You over here with a pencil, people going to be looking at you like, okay, Gertmaster.
You cannot wish your dreams come true that way. That's not how that works.
But yes, you can always use pet names. You can also use, because again, words, these names, they're just simply descriptors. You can of course keep the general consensus names or words, but you can also keep some cute stuff between one another. Like you don't have everything that doesn't have to be shared with everybody. It could just be kept between two peoples.
Yeah. I was thinking about whether I should put my scene name on more stuff here. I've been going by Jam for so long, though. It's too cute to change on the pod, but I feel like I am moving into it on everything else. So we'll see. Maybe later you guys will be like, hey, a reintroduction.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name Purr.
Purr.
Big Purr.
Okay.
All right. What personal experience do you have, Jam, in regards to any aspect of Kajira?
Yeah, so I said we were discussing it in our book club, and the conversation was like, what do you want your submission to look like? Which is a question I think everyone interested in it should ask themselves. And it can change because, honestly, when I first got into BDSM, CNC was like my main end goal. I was like, I will learn everything I can. I will meet whoever I need to meet so that I can curate this bomb-ass CNC scene. And that's still, don't get me wrong, that's my goal. And I actually met somebody at Kinky Kickback that I'm adding to the list. But I'm thinking that BDSM fits into my life a little more than just playtime. And leaning into what being a Kajira looks like, feels like, is what's happening on this side of the slash.
Well, that sounds interesting. I know on my end, as I stand as of today, because who I am today may not be who I am tomorrow, because who I am today was definitely not who I was yesterday. I am not particularly interested in that aspect of a dynamic. Mm-hmm. The closest I can get to that in my head would be like essentially like a momentary thing of like a free use or a CNC kind of situation. Mm-hmm. But to have that full total power exchange in that like to that level, I feel like that's not in the cards for me, at least as of today.
Hedo's taking the part-time shift.
Yep, like maybe in like 10 years when I'm like 45, a lot more established, the house market has crashed, so I got this big ass mansion for like $3. I got the stock market. We got to keep that afloat, but the housing market, that one.
Mm-hmm,
let me buy. In fact, you know what? I'll go small. Let me go ahead and buy a 2-story, 8-bedroom for like $150. Then maybe I might feel comfortable in that regards, being a little bit more established, being a little bit more comfortable. But as I am today, I'm too aloof for all that. Like there is the misconception by a lot of testy toters, penis providers, there's a misconception that when you come into this, you just simply tell whoever you're attracted to what to do, and they're just supposed to be like, "Oh yes, sir," and do it. They don't
That's not the
understand.
deal.
There is a lot that goes into it because you have to be mindful of everything for that person. You have to, down to the point of, did you drink water today? And you have to drink water yourself while caring about someone else drinking water, since you are responsible for them remaining alive and healthy. But no, the misconception is, oh, I'm a dom. Hey, go get me food. Go make me, like, they just think that the whole dynamic is about, I'm about to have a free maid. No, man, there's a
That's not
whole lot
it.
tied to it. And that's why I know I'm not ready.
Are you ready to double time your responsibility?
No. I don't even feel my own responsibility sometimes. So, shit.
Listen, ask yourself that question before you're thinking about going into total power exchange for sure.
All right. Now, let's see.
Oh, I do want to say one other thing, which is even if you're part timing a power exchange this intensely, it is important to think about aftercare on a more extensive level. Sometimes it's harder for somebody to come out of, I haven't had to do anything or make any decisions, and somebody else is making sure I stay alive. Um, so you really have to add that into the time that you're spending together. Like, don't say you're going to be with somebody Friday to Sunday and have them as a Kajira, and then on the hour before they're supposed to be leaving, you're like, okay, time for aftercare. Like, no, it's a slow roll. The same way you will cool down out of workout, you need to cool down out of this type of space for both of you. And you need to make a plan to check in later on to make sure that you're both okay.
Yep. See, I'm glad you were able to drop that last nugget.
That's why I'm here.
All right. Now, might as well go ahead and let the people know where to find you. Jam or Persian. Don't know which one yet.
Yeah, we'll see. But right now, I am Love Persian on almost every platform. Twitter, Fed.
IG will be
That's it.
I mean her.
IG.
So I mean her is
Yeah.
just too good to let go.
It is too good to let go. I thought really long and hard about that one. So that one's going to stay. But I don't know. Maybe y'all start calling me Persian on the pod. But I'm trying to get my name changed on our panel. I will be called Persian on the panel.
All right, you already know where to find me, Sir Hedo, on multiple platforms. Some of them have a period in between. Some of them have an underscore. A lot of them is just all one word put together, whether it be Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, because I'm not calling that letter. And wherever the hell else you may find me, even hell, Facebook. Like, I just spent that was the other thing I spent the last 2 weeks doing, getting approved for all these various sites like X Hamster and Loyal Fans and OnlyFans.
I'm on Loyal Fans.
Yeah,
Why does it take you guys so long?
because you gotta prove who you are.
But it took me like 2 minutes.
Because
I sent my picture, they were like, "You're prepared."
That's because you are the person that would likely bring in the bucks.
Fine.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in again. Subscribe, like, and everything else they be saying. Give me another
Follow the pod.
Give me 5 more episodes. I'll have my pitch down. Like, subscribe, click. I'm not saying smash. I hate people that say smash. Just click.
Smash that like button, baby.
Oh my God! See now she knows what she's doing. I'm gonna be up in Jersey at some point soon. So.
Oh man. But please follow the pod on Instagram. Big letter, little letter, and I'll start posting again.
All right, y'all. Y'all go ahead. Stay kinky and safe and all that good stuff.
Bye.
Bye.